So, hello to all the viewers and welcome back to the forum, The Conversation. Today we have amongst us Dr. Roopali Deshpande. And I think it would be best for her to introduce herself. Welcome, Dr. Roopali Deshpande. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. So, before I say anything else, I would love to hear from you. So, please introduce yourself for the sake of our viewers.
Namaskar and a very good afternoon to all of you, and very good afternoon to you, Dr. Ramnath Dikshit. I'm so happy to be on this platform. I am Dr. Roopali Deshpande, a proper Pakki Thanekar, you can say, born and brought up in Thane. Uh, Basically, educationally, I am a MA PhD economics. Later in life, after marriage, I did my Kathak. So I started my journey of Kathak dance only after my marriage. And 20 years I've been learning Kathak. I did my Alankar in Kathak, and now currently I'm doing research in Kathak and Bharud, the Marathi folk art. So that's me.
Okay, that's a multifaceted personality that I can see, ma'am. I Every time I meet you, I get to know some different part about your personality, which is very fascinating. And as far as I know, you've always been a learner. You've always been a student in your life. So you never come across as a teacher, which is, I think, phenomenal. And today, I
Yes,
think,
because a
yeah,
lamp cannot light another lamp unless it keeps its wick burning. So, if you have to light lamps in your life, if you want to motivate people, you must keep your wick burning. So, that is my principle. Keep learning.
absolutely. Wonderfully said. So today we have an opportunity to learn something from you. So we will be as possibly as greedy as possible. So let me get straight to the topic that we have: living a holistic and a purposeful life. So I mean, life in itself is as complicated as it can get. So when we talk about life being holistic uh, and purposeful at the same time, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh, Spiritually, if you ask me, the purpose of life, the purpose of life is attainment of peace. So, everything here is incomplete. And there is beauty in incompleteness, I believe, because the only thing that is complete, permanent, nitya and nirantar is Brahma. As the shloka goes, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So that is only complete. So now when we are motivating, we are on this platform where so many youth, so many people are watching us. They are into this life. They have come to this birth with all vasanas, all desires. So we need to guide them, right? So, to your question, what is a holistic and a purposeful life? I would say to balance all aspects of human existence is, according to me, a purposeful and a holistic life. It's a very comprehensive concept.
Okay. So, ma'am, when you say holistic, I would want you to define what are these different aspects that one needs to look at. For instance, health is one aspect, finance is one aspect, learning could be other. What are some of the key aspects that you would like to talk about? Because when we talk about living a holistic life, everyone has their own definition of what is a holistic life. So, what are some of the common parameters that a layman also may want to look at and practice?
You have perfectly said, Dr. Ramnath. You said that everybody has a different perspective. Okay. Like, see, there are two quadrants, according to me. One quadrant has, you know, uh, four quadrants. Okay. Now, now in these four quadrants, you have your physical, your emotional and mental needs, you have your financial needs, and your spiritual needs. All these needs are looked into in an other square which has four quadrants: the family, the personal space, the professional space, and the social space. It is the hunger of human being. For example, the personal space comes first, which means my likes, my dislikes, my hobbies, my learnings, my yoga, my exercise, my recreation, what I like. Then comes, I belong to this family. She is my mother, he is my father, brother, my son, my daughter, my wife. This is a unit where I belong. So I should be happy with all of them. They should be happy with me. So time for them. Then professional, 8 hours I'm working. I'm working for a concern. So I have to give the best. And lastly, the fourth corner is the social corner, because man is a social animal and he cannot live in isolation. So he needs friends. He needs people to talk out, spend some good time. So these are the four areas. And when all these four areas give him satisfaction, fulfillment, we say that his physical, mental, spiritual, financial, all needs are completed if he focuses on these four compartments, on these quadrants.
And is there a priority to these quadrants? I mean, do we start by saying I look at my needs first and then the family and so on?
Of course. Of course, in an aircraft also, you can't save your person sitting in on the next chair. First, you have to put the oxygen to yours, because jaan hai to jahan hai na. So family, your friends, and profession and social gatherings and all have no meaning if you don't take care of yourself. So personal space comes first.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, Dr. Rupali, what I've seen is what is difficult for people is although these are four quadrants, I think most people are aware that there are different paths and aspects of life. But the fundamental question is, where do we start? Even for example, if I start with myself, where do I look at becoming a better person or a better professional for that matter? So, is there a starting point? Are there certain things that I need to look at to begin with, which are like the core fundamentals of human existence? And then I look at my family and then the social part of it. So, is there certain things that one needs to? I'm not sure if I'm making sense with that question, but I just wanted to understand: is there a starting point that we need to look at
Definitely,
as human beings?
definitely, definitely. The starting point is intrapersonal communication. By intrapersonal communication, I mean talking to yourself. Our Vedas and Upanishads also say koham. The question koham, which is who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? So when these questions you ask yourself, these are intrapersonal communications. The starting point is this for any kind of plan for improving your life or betterment that you think of.
Absolutely. And, unfortunately, I may say, in today's generation, it's very difficult for people to have a conversation for that matter with anyone. I mean, families
True.
don't talk to each other, friends don't talk. Maybe they chat, but they don't necessarily have a conversation. And to have a conversation with your own self so that you fundamentally answer the question, who am I? That's a bit complicated. So, how do we actually begin to have this internal dialogue so that we uncover ourselves and understand ourselves better?
uh, Basically, each one of us is seeded in a different environment. For example, some individual may not have a family, may not have parents of his own, or some person may have parents of his own, but he has decided not to marry, or the marriageable age has just gone away and he's continuing with his life. So, same questions cannot be, asked to one individual. So every individual, when he talks to himself, will have a different set of questions. But the basic bottom line question is Koham. Who am I? What is my purpose? What am I doing here? So these are the questions from where he can start.
Sure, absolutely. And a lot of times people struggle to ask this question to themselves, because I also wanted to know, is there a particular age when you start asking this question to yourself? It's a very spiritual question, isn't it? Who am I? So, do you do that as a teenager? Do you do that as a corporate professional, or when you get married? What's a good time to ask this question to yourself? Because it's a difficult question to answer, and it takes a lot of courage to ask that question to yourself.
See, basically, the topic that we are into, a holistic and a purposeful life. You tell me, Dr. Ramnath, how many people and at what age they come to realize that their life is not holistic or their life is not purposeful. There could be somebody at the age of 20, 25 may feel that. Somebody at the age of 60 might feel that. Somebody in the middle age, midlife crisis may feel that. So at different ages, people, when that incompleteness will come, when they will feel that whatever I'm doing, for example, Santa Jnaneshwar, he did not get these questions, but he started his work at the age of 12. He started preaching. At the age of 16, he wrote Jnaneshwari. So, so people of that stature, they got their answers in a very young age, very tender age, probably because these questions occurred to them then. So there is a period in each one of our lives when we get stuck, and then that dialogues begin. It is said, जब सब अच्छा है, when everything is good, you never, think. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोय, सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे को होए. So these are the statements of our Sant Mahantas, those who have been our spiritual guides. So these type of questions come only when you feel that you are incomplete. So there is no particular age when these questions should come necessarily to a person.
Yeah. Having said that, it would be always better if we have these questions at the beginning of our career, or maybe the sooner the better in our lives, isn't it? Because that means if we are aware about who we are and what our purpose is, then we can guide our life in the right direction. And therefore, how do we ensure, if I may use the word, how do we ensure that we prepone the feeling of this restlessness, the feeling of this incompleteness, so that we start on the right path? How do we do that?
Dr. Ramnath, yeah, again coming to this question, I think this question is again repeated. Uh, one can only guide or give samskaras to the youth whilst they are starting their life. Okay, that there are four compartments, and all these four compartments you need to fulfill in order to have a fulfilled life. But again, this is not a foolproof mechanism that we can give to youngsters, because people go in one direction, but the life leads them to another destination. So it is said, man proposes and God disposes. There are so many people like uh, Dr. Sriram Lagu, the famous actor who is now no more, but he was a medical doctor. Dr. Kashinath Ghanekar, he was a medical doctor. He was a doctor.
Yeah.
But both of them ended up in film industry. So many examples are there कि life में किया कुछ, but the life opened different doors. So Dr. Ramnath, everything cannot be planned. Everything cannot be planned. So to youngsters, we can just say that whatever is your passion, follow your passion, give time to your passion, and all the same, you don't forget your roots. Roots are what? Your parents, your samskaras, your friends. So this going towards career or career means also what? So there's a small story which I think you all know, everybody knows this story. There was a fisherman working for a company, a fishery company. So the owner of the fishery, he was a millionaire. He happened to come to the shores with this fisherman, and he advised him, what you are doing, you are whiling away the time in your life. This fisherman said, why do you think so? He says, you go to the sea, you catch some fishes, you give it to the fishery, and that's it. What do you do the remaining time? He said, remaining time I am with my wife. We have a fisherman colony. All people in the colony get together in the evening. Then we have some instruments. We play those instruments. We sing, we dance. We have some wine together. We have fish. And we have a nice, good night's sleep. Again, in the morning, we go fishing. So he said, no, no, you are wasting time in your life. You should, you know, dream of becoming a, owner of a fishery company. So this fisherman now starts asking him questions. What are you going to do with your life? Yeah, he says, I work for almost 18 hours. I have to check all quality control of the products. I have to see for exports. I have to manage all the fishermen here, meaning the team is there. Thousands of people are working for me. I have to see my bank accounts, this, that, and I'm so busy. I work for 18 hours. And recently, I have purchased one land in Hawaii, one land somewhere in the Southeast Asia, and there is no continent in the world where I don't have a piece of land. Fisherman says, oh, congratulations. Then how, then what next? He says, in my retirement time, I am going to, once I cross my 60s, I am going to go to a small land that I have with my wife, and I am going to stay like a king in a small island. I'm going to. So this fisherman says, what I am doing now,
Yeah.
I am living like a king. After 5 o'clock, I am a king. I'm king. So this fisherman exactly knew where to draw line. So that compartment that I'm talking about, the self, the family, the professional, and the social compartment. These compartments have to be made by the youth and try to understand that success, the word success, is very, 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 very subjective. What success is to Dr. Ramnath is not success to Dr. Rupali. So you koham, who am I? Everybody is ekameva advitiya. Everyone is different. One has to understand. So I feel career lessons, professional lessons, all these lessons aside, first lesson is spiritual lesson. Each one of us have to go to our roots, read Vedas, read Upanishads to understand who I am, what is my purpose, and then only jump into what career I can make. And will that all make me happy?
Yeah. So I think in a sense, it would be right to say that sometimes you find a purpose and sometimes the purpose finds you, right? Depending on your own experiences in
Absolutely.
life. And
Absolutely.
yeah, true. Absolutely. I think that that's a good summation of how do you go about looking at purpose in your own life? Because as you rightly pointed out, even what we generally call as success in the materialistic world is a very, very subjective definition, and there is no one right definition for it. And therefore, trying to replicate success in the lens of the world would be a futile effort because everyone has their own definitions around it.
Absolutely. And then sometimes even successful people feel unfulfilled. That is the
Absolutely.
reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they are not internally aligned. Internal alignment is very essential. Such people, they wait for external validation, the societal validation. Society should validate me. So they keep on comparing, and that is the reason they remain unfulfilled.
True. Absolutely. Very true. Dr. Rupali, it's interesting that you made this point about the internal alignment. Why is it that so many people end up making a comparison with the rest of the people? Uh, it could be material comparisons, it could be look wise, it could be how much knowledge or how much degrees you have acquired. Why do we fall into this trap? And is there anything that we can do to make our way out of this?
Uh, Again, so first I will tell you why it happens and then how to come out of it.
Yeah.
So usually people are doing this comparison because they are not internally aligned. Now, why this happens when we are taking birth in this Maya, in this world, we are bound with three gunas, sattva, raja, and tamo gunas. And due to these gunas, natural tendency is there that we have these six enemies: kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, and matsara. Now we are talking about comparison, which comes under the sixth category, matsar. Matsar means what? Jealousy. Jealousy is a negative emotion which crops up from comparison. Now, in this race of life, everybody wants to be number one. Everybody wants. You take a new car, you put it on Facebook. You have a new sari, you want to display it. You go somewhere to the party and you click pictures and you put it on the social media. You want to show what you have. This has become the tendency of the people. So this is a natural tendency. Just I told you that once we take birth, these six enemies are going to surround you. Now, how to come out of it? How to come out of it? So, तेरी साड़ी मेरी साड़ी से सफेद कैसी? This is everybody's race. In this emotions, this negative emotion, jealousy, one thing you observe, Dr. Ramnath, I'm asking you, if somebody who is not connected with you achieves something, you don't feel jealous.
Hmm.
But when somebody who is connected with you, related with you, somehow associated with you, and he or she achieves something, you feel jealous.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
This is the human tendency.
Yeah.
So, uh, understanding this, if you understand this much also, that a beggar will not be jealous of a person riding down in a car, but he will be jealous when that person throws a 5 rupee coin in the begging bowl of the other beggar and he puts 2 rupee coin in your begging bowl. That
Yeah.
beggar will be jealous of the other beggar because comparison is always due to connection or association.
Yeah.
So once you understand this emotion of jealousy, then you work on it and understand why this emotion is troubling me. Slowly and slowly you work on it and it will go away.
So what
So,
I understand.
am I answering your question?
Absolutely, absolutely. What I understand from you essentially is, I think it's a very interesting point that you make, is that you naturally tend to feel jealous when you have an association with the person, right? In fact, in the family itself, we often see this husband being jealous of wife's success, or vice versa. Many a times, brothers are jealous of each other, and best of friends actually tend to have a fallout of relationship because of this phenomena. Uh, I would still want to, navigate deeper and say that, is there something that we can control in terms of overcoming this whole idea of comparison? Because human beings are, if I may say, designed species when it comes to comparison. Animals don't do that. Human beings are naturally inclined to do it. And especially when I talk about the younger generation, the social media kind of amplifies it. Somewhere I read one of the Buddhist philosophies talks about the feeling of mudita, which says that if you see someone achieving success, one of the ways to curb your natural jealous instincts is to immediately congratulate that person, because when you do
Appreciate.
that, you find yourself being a partner in their success. Uh,
Yes.
would you believe on
Mudita is
that
a very,
philosophy?
very powerful emotion. Yes. Yeah,
So
please continue.
yeah, so my question to you is, can we do something to convert this feeling of jealousy into a powerful energizer or a trigger for us to rather do well, rather than feeling let down or burning from within? Because that's what majority people go through, right? uh, we don't get inspired by people's success, we feel disappointed by people's success, and that often leads to our own downfall. So that's my question.
So, my answer to this question is, again, take an inward journey. Make your line bigger with mudita first. So, mudita can be the first step. Appreciate what others are doing. Appreciate your fellow beings if they're getting promotion, if they're doing well in their life. Appreciate them. Be a part of their success, right? But at the same time, there are certain ways in order to control this emotion. First of all, social media detox. Very essential. We look into others' life and then constantly keep on comparing. This is bad. And as I told you, the samskaras, the first basic samskara is ekla chalo re.
Hmm.
My life cannot be compared with your life. The success that you got depends upon so many conditions that were conducive to your success. Probably I may not have those conditions. So there are so many things that go behind a person's success. So understanding the first prima facie condition, that everybody's journey is different and alone.
Yeah.
So, Ekla Chalore, you are in your journey, and in his journey, he has met with success. Be a party to that success, be happy for him. And at the same time, you go on consistently with the efforts that you are for your project, your karma, your your how much efforts you're putting into that, the conditions around it will decide whether you will be successful or not. So don't think whether you will be success. So karmण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. You do your work. Don't think about you make your line bigger with your efforts.
Yeah.
Your journey is your journey.
Absolutely. I think understanding and having that realization is very important, that every person has his or her own journey. So I would now like to concentrate on the next part that you spoke about in terms of the quadrants that you referred to. Once I've built that inner alignment, now comes my relationship with other people, right? The people around me. It includes my family, my friends, my colleagues at work, and the society at large. Today, you feel that a lot of relationships are fragmented. People are not able to either form relationships, or they are not able to have fulfilling relationships. What does one do about that?
According to me, today it has all become very virtual.
Hmm.
So you may have 2,500 friends on your Facebook list, Instagram list different. Okay, you may have so many friends, acquaintances. I will call them acquaintances only, that you know each other through Facebook. Though Facebook calls it friend request, we don't nurture those friendships, right?
Yes.
If somebody goes to Simla, Masuri and post photographs, you just like, good, nice, wow, that also comes ready made. The words are not also coming from your heart, are they? They are
Yeah,
not.
absolutely. Everything is
Dr.
fabricated.
Ramnath Dixit, yeah, Dr. Ramnath Dixit post convocation हुआ, PhD मिल गया. I'll say, oh, before I can type anything, that pop-up will come, congratulations. So it's everything is ready-made these days. So you need to have deeper connections in order to have that peace. I'm not saying happiness, because
Hmm.
happiness is depending upon all the sense organs. You see something beautiful, you feel good. Feeling good, you consider it as happiness. But peace is more long lasting, and happiness is very tentative, very temporary. So if you want that peace, you need to have solid relations, deeper relations, and deeper relations cannot be kept with anybody and everybody.
Hmm.
So that compartment also has to be, clean. You have a set of friends who really understand you, you understand them, you make sense to them, they make sense to you. You have a good quality time with them, then you build deeper connections with them. Family, of course, there are four members in the family, you don't have a choice. But you have special conversation with your brothers, other conversation with your mother, you can't have the same conversation. So you are guiding your younger brother. You are telling him that go ahead, I am there with you. Anything happens, you give him assurance. So this builds the relation. वो क्या कर रहा है मुझे मालूम नहीं है. What your younger brother is doing, you don't know. You are in your world, he is in his world. So this digitalization has put us all in four corners of the house. Each one of us has a gadget and everybody is head down there managing their own social connections. So we all are having friends and people all around the world, but we are away from our people.
Correct.
So for these deeper connections, communication is the key.
Hmm.
Number one.
True. So within family, family is kind of a micro unit that kind of defines the entire world, right? I mean, if you're happy with your family, the world suddenly starts looking very promising. Uh, it starts looking very nice in general. So how do we begin at the family level? I mean, because if you want to live a holistic life, you've got to become a good family person, no matter who you are, whether you could be a father, a mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, anyone for that matter. So how do I become a good family member?
Time, devoting time. Today, money, gifts, presents, getting things for people at home. That, see, I'll tell you an example. My mother, due to heavy sugar, she lost her eyesight. And that was the period when I started earning.
Hmm.
And I decided that I will bring a nice sari for my mother. I'll get things for my mother. Okay. But it was that time in her life that that cotton gown was also very difficult for her to carry,
Yeah.
because the creatinine levels were high. And so she could not carry that also. So that material thing was of no consequence to her. So what I could give her best was my time. So I used to return from the college. I used to sit with her for hours together, talk what I can see. I could explain her. I could tell her stories. I could laugh with her, and I could spend some quality time with her. And that she was waiting for me to come from college.
Right.
So so I'm very happy today that I could, share my time. So what is most expensive today is time. You see, in so many families today, the father is saying something, mother is saying something, children are busy in their gadgets. Husband is saying something to the wife is busy in her gadget. So we don't have the audacity to look up to the family member and yeah, yeah, okay, I'm keeping my cell down. Let's sit and talk together. Nobody has that time also.
Correct.
So time today is the key factor, time and communication to bring family together.
Yeah, that's well said. In fact, when you spoke about your mother, it reminded me of another example. It was, I think, a short film that I saw recently, wherein a son who's craving his father's attention uh, cannot find his father's attention because his father is a very busy businessman. So he happens to walk up to his dad and says, "Dad, how much do you make every hour? How much money do you earn every hour?" And this is roughly about $500. Now, this kid has garnered a lot of pocket money over the years. He said, $500 per hour. That's how much you make. He said, yeah, absolutely. He said, okay. So he goes inside the bedroom and he brings his money
Piggy
bank,
bank.
which has about 550, $600 in it. And he says, here are $500. Can you please give me 1 hour of your time today?
Oh my God.
Right. And I think invariably what has happened is, as parents, as family members, we aren't giving that time. Many a times people talk about the fact that it's not about the quantity of time, it's the quality of time. But I think when it comes to time, quantity matters as much as quality does, because when you
Okay.
watch a 2 hour movie with your family, it's not just the quality of the movie. I think it's the time that you spend with your family that matters a lot. Right? You laugh together, you feel those emotions in the movie because you have your family members with you. So you absolutely nailed it when you said that we have to give it time. Uh, and going a step further, in fact, a lot of relationships who have been under a lot of severe pressure, they also heal because people decide to give time to the relationship. I think when we call timeout, that's when the problem starts, right? So it's absolutely indispensable that we devote time to each other and spend time with each other. Now, again, going back to the quadrant where it talks about who am I and what I do. A lot of people aren't giving time to themselves. There are certain people who will devote themselves fully to the family and to the relationships, but they do a disservice to themselves because they aren't giving any time to themselves. And when I say that, maybe there is no spiritual growth. You have this inner emptiness and void, or you're not investing enough in terms of your own learning journey. You're not experiencing life. So how do you, in spite of all the busyness of life that you have, how do you create that time for your own growth in every aspect?
Again, a person who is understanding Koham, the purpose of life, will never do this. So,
Hmm.
first of all, that communication with yourself is very important. That unless and until jaan hai, to jahan hai. I'm repeating it again. So,
Hmm.
unless I take care of myself, I will not be able to take care of anything. So, uh, money, success, relationships, everything will come, fall apart. But if I don't take care of myself, if I die tomorrow because I didn't take care of myself, I fall sick, what is going to happen of all this? The famous Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's last interview, where he was found in hospital slippers, hospital clothes, and all the tubes in his nose and his throat. He said that I have the most expensive car, but I am on the wheelchair of the hospital. I have the most silken robes in my wardrobe, but I am in the hospital clothes. I have best of shoes, but I'm in the hospital slippers. So where is all this taking me? And in a very he was not very old when he died.
True, absolutely.
So these are the examples which tell you that other things can come, or even if they don't come, not very important. What is important is me, myself. So when this will dawn upon themselves, when people will learn this, or when people will be told this, maybe through our interview, that you are the first
Yeah,
in the line, and then come others. So in that quadrant also that I draw, first comes personal space. So I start my mornings with prana puja. Pran puja is a guided meditation pranayam class wherein we blow shankha and give gratitude to the universe for presenting us with this day, with this life, with this senses, sense organs, with this shwasa prana. So we do the gratitude with the conch shell blowing, number one. Then we do the Kapalbhati, Bhastrika Pranayam, Brahmari, Anulom Vilom, and finally Yoga Nidra. 1 hour complete practice of Pran Puja. Doing any other puja means family puja, uh, your office puja, your friends puja, your success puja. Before any other puja, do the Prana Puja, which is the vital force in you.
yeah.
So that is very important. So unless and until people understand that it's your journey, your ekla alone, everything else comes later, you have to first look after yourself.
Absolutely. So, prioritizing one's own well-being is not an act of selfishness, but rather an act of self-love. And I think that that is
Yes,
very important.
yes,
So,
yes.
extending on this thought, and because you spoke about all the practices that you do on a day-to-day basis, which is phenomenal, I must say, how important is health, both physically and mentally, in today's aspect for one to lead a holistic life?
I think the questions are all intertwined. This question is also intertwined because physical and mental health is talking about myself,
Hmm.
my exercise, doing exercise. Every day doing exercise will keep me on my toes. Mental exercise is what? To keep yourself mentally happy, emotionally happy, is, I feel, giving is something which will keep you very happy. Giving time to people, helping people, this will make you emotionally richer. Datritva we call giving. By giving, you get more. So physical and mental health is very important, as the question that you asked is because unless and until you are physically and mentally fit, you can't work in an organization. And to become physically fit, exercise is one thing that I recommend strongly, movement. Second is the datritva, the giving. So emotional well-being, according to me, will come only when you laugh. When you crack a joke. You
Hmm.
crack a joke means you're creating lighter moments. You're helping somebody. You're giving your time, you're giving your expertise, you're sharing your experience. What you get, they will say a simple thank you to you, but you are becoming richer. You're becoming richer because you're giving. When you're giving, you're getting more. What you're getting more satisfaction. And that is the fuel to work more harder wherever you're working, your professional quadrant.
True, true. As they say, you make a living by what you get, and you make a life by what you give, right?
What
So,
you give, right, right.
so this whole concept of giving, I think, is absolutely critical. Earlier, you also spoke about gratitude, which is actually giving thanks to the universe for what you have. And then you also talked about the importance of giving time, giving your knowledge to others. So, especially for the modern day youth, how do they start with their journey of giving? Because a lot of times people think of giving in terms of money or in terms of checkbooks. But real giving is far more deeper and far more, if I may say, holistic than that. So, how does one get into this practice of giving on a day to day basis? Uh, if you could share some thoughts on that.
Sure. So, giving has different aspects, like sharing your experience, sharing your knowledge, sharing your time, sharing an information. For example, uh, there is a good opportunity, okay, but I am unable to avail that opportunity because I am engaged somewhere else. So it is my moral responsibility to share that information with 10 other people so that they can take opportunity. So many people, they know many things, but they would not like others to know because others will become more powerful. Then again, that jealousy thing comes.
Hmm.
सो गिविंग दैट, अरे मुझे नहीं मिला तो क्या हुआ, वो लोग तो जाकर अटेंड करेंगे ना, उनका भला होगा, वो फ्री में है प्रोग्राम, लेट देम गो एंड अटेंड. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो गिविंग.
Yes.
सो गिविंग इज नॉट ओनली मॉनिटरी or giving dan, or that is not giving. Giving is something which comes from, there has to be a feeling of uh, त्याचं चांगलं झालं पाहिजे, उसका भला हो, लेट हिम बेनिफिट. that fa- that feeling is more important than what you are giving, so that you're giving with positive vibes, and that will surely benefit that person.
So what I understand here is it's the intent that matters, right? I want to
Intent.
help someone. That intent in itself is a very critical thing. And if I have the
Yes,
intent, somehow or the other, I'll find a way to help people.
true.
True. Excellent. So if you could tell us what are some of the things that you tend to practice to ensure that you live a holistic and purposeful life?
uh, yes, a very good question. I would definitely love to share. Basically, I believe in the principle that don't let things overflow. So there is a quote in Marathi, "Ati tithe mati,"
Hmm.
which means you should know where to stop. You should know where to stop. So don't do anything that is going overboard, and that exactly keeps me in limit. So I have perfect dance rehearsal times with my daughter. So that is my quality time with my daughter.
Hmm.
I am not a very cinema person, film person. I don't like to sit and watch films 3 hours, 2 hours in that. But my husband does like. So I give him space, and that time I will try and study. But yes, weekly 2 days at least I will see to it that I sit with him and watch movies. I sit with him and watch movies. Maybe मैं मटर छिलती रहूंगी, or I may do some household chores along with the watching of the movie. But I will laugh, I will jump, I will enjoy that movie to the fullest, so that he also feels, yeah, there is a companionship to watch the movie.
Right.
So when I'm with my friends, I will not. If I keep on talking spiritual, they will say, "Arey, isko bajo mein rakho." So if I want their company, I need to be, birds of a feather flock together. So
Yeah.
sometimes I do give them lessons, but many a times I also see to it that I am with them. So this is me. So I like to go with the flow. Pravahi me, anandi me. So I like to go with the flow. So I don't plan much. I take one day at a time. That is the, secret. And I feel that I'm a happy soul. I'm a peaceful soul because I love my work, Ramnath. I love whatever I do, I love. I love my work and I work at my loving. The second statement is very important. I work at my loving. So whatever I am liking to do, I will work on that and try to see to it that it benefits people. Is it enjoyable to them as well as me? I work on my loving. So this is me.
Great, fantastic. No, I'm sure, what you're essentially saying is be 100% in whatever you do. You don't need to plan too much, but whatever you do, your relationships, your work, your passion, your hobbies, be 100% present to them is what I pick from you, right?
True.
So, you have been also associated with a lot of social initiatives for a long, long time now. Uh, Anything which is specifically closer to your heart and something that you would like to share with people that they also may want to consider, because every drop makes the ocean. So anything you'd like to share on those lines?
Uh, we live in a society. Society makes us what we are because there are five agencies of socialization, and one of the social agencies of socialization is the environment. When we look at ourselves and we find that God has been very, very kind to us, we have got this, we have got that, we have got a number of things. Probably a set of people in the society do not have that. So, going and sharing with them, it will not complete the lacunae. For example, a children in an orphanage don't have parents. You going there and spending time with them or helping them with some utensils or grocery is not going to help them for life. But yes, it will definitely fill that time of their life that you are giving. There are so many old age homes. So we have a practice, me, my husband, we go to these old age homes. We take our karaoke sets and we sing there for 2 hours the songs which they do farmaish, the old people. Then we make them dance, we laugh with them, we sing with them. So those 2 hours are like we forget everything, and they also forget everything that their children have left them in their old home. So that time that we make together is a blissful time. So there are so many orphanages, there are old age homes, there are so many other social activities. So we just discussed that giving is getting.
Yeah,
Giving is getting. It will fill your life with uh, countless blessings indirectly. Don't do it for that, but that does, reflect again, bounce back again on you. You get the happiness, you feel complete. So that is the reason why social activities, helping people is very, very important. Should
yeah,
be a part of everybody's life.
absolutely. And in fact, there are two things I've observed uh, with people who have this tendency of helping others and going out of their way. One is, when you help others, you also have this feeling that if I can help others, I can definitely help myself. So, they
True.
have bigger amount of resilience, especially when they're going through tight situations. And the second is, when you help others, you also become more gratitude oriented. I mean, you start thanking things because you start noticing that the people that I'm trying to help do not have what I already have. So your gratitude factor automatically kind of increases, and your perception towards life enhances that way. So
True.
absolutely, I think I completely concur with what you said. The ability to help, and you don't need to do anything drastic for that matter. Whatever you can do within your capacity. Some people I've seen do blood donation quite regularly, and I asked them, why do you do it regularly? And they said, I don't know anything, but I don't know if I'm saving a life, but I'm happy at the end of those 10 minutes of blood donation. Some people say that, I just love to sing for my friends. And again, the same question, why do you do it? And they say, people around me have happiness when I do that. And they may
Hmm.
laugh at the way I sing, but I don't care, because it makes them happy at the end of the day. So I think the whole context of giving is is I'm adding value to people in some way or the other. And I think that is the essence of it. And to realize that is truly beautiful.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, I know you're a deeply spiritual person. So, for a lot of people who constantly want to evolve as a human being, because I think that is what also makes your life truly spectacular and marvelous. And we've seen a lot of people who are, I would say, holistically successful, drawn to spiritualism, and they also have spiritualism embedded in their life. If someone has to start on this journey of spiritualism, where would you recommend them to start?
At any point of time. But if you are asking this question for grown-ups, the people who are career-oriented or they are already into business, or I can say that non-doing between the intervals of doing. I would recommend non-doing between the intervals of doing. Don't do anything.
Hmm.
Between the doings, there is an interval, non-doing. That non-doing phase is the phase of introspection, is the phase of communicating with yourself, taking an inward journey, doing inner engineering, having intrapersonal communications, talking to yourself. This is very essential because they are the people who can fly high.
Yeah.
Non-doing between doing. And while doing also, again, this is very important. While doing anything, don't take the doership. मैंने किया है.
Hmm.
I have done this. Had I not been there, he would die. मैं था, मैं एम्बुलेंस बुलाया, मैं लेके गया, वो बच गया, उसको हार्ट अटैक आया. Who are you? So that when you surrender yourself to the Almighty, ये मैंने किया नहीं, ये मुझसे करवाया गया है. आई एम एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट. वेन यू स्टार्ट बिलीविंग दिस, यू फ्लाई हाई.
Hmm. And I think that's also the way to keep your ego in check,
Absolutely.
isn't it? Is to
Absolutely.
say that I have just been a catalyst, but there is some powerful source which is making me do things, and I'm just a doer, but I'm not the creator. And I think that's a very powerful thought process to have. Great, fantastic. Any parting words, ma'am? Anything you'd like to suggest in terms of maybe books that you read, or anything that you'd like to tell people in general, something that they could practice
I,
like a
I,
to-do?
I, I feel all the management gurus, all the management books, I have read so many of them. I will not name because then I'll become very, specific to those books. But in general, all books, they have all derived the principles from the Bhagavad Gita. So the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Dasbodh, the Ramcharitmanas, these are my most recommended books. So anybody and everybody, if they have to start their, motivational journey to motivate them, so to become self-propelled. So to become self-propelled, also start reading these books. These books will, everywhere Krishna has said, if you want to rise, uddharedatmanatmanam, you have to tell your mind that chal ut, get up, get going. Again, don't take the doership, surrender. All management principles are derived from these books. So the directly target the base
Yeah.
from where it has come, the foundation. Read these books, at least read Gita first, Bhagavad Gita.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that thought. One last message for people to actually start living a holistic and purposeful life. What would be that one sentence, one statement that you want people to remember and try and practice on a daily basis?
Yes. So the gist of whatever we discussed today, you need to have deeper connections, um, digital detox, prioritize your life. While doing all these things, I would like to give two quotes. One is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita, which where Dhritarashtra, the blind king, he asks, "What is happening in Kurukshetra? My sons and Pandu's sons, what are they doing?" This is the first question. So the shloka in which he asks here, धर्म क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेता युयुत्सव मामका पांडवाश्चैव किम कुरुवत संजय. Here, the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita starts with jealousy, comparison, mine and yours, right? So, what we learn from this first shloka is, if you do Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Dharma Kshetra is your Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is the battlefield. Each one of us has a battlefield. That is our Kurukshetra. But if you convert that Kurukshetra into a Dharma Kshetra, what is a Dharma Kshetra? Righteousness. If you do all your duties in a righteous manner, that is the path, the right path. This is the first shloka. And the
Mhm.
last shloka of Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Which means that wherever there is a Shishya like Arjuna, like you, Dr. Ramnath, like me, Dr. Rupali, like you, all the viewers, we are the Arjunas. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, where there is a guru like Krishna, and where is there is a Shishya like you and me and the viewers, like us, there is going to be 100% guaranteed success. So, success will come when we are constantly on the path of learning with the righteous way, learning in the righteous mode. So that is the final message from me.
I
Keep
think
learning, keep growing, be successful, but don't leave the righteous path. Keep yourself first. Don't take the doership.
I believe couldn't have summed up this podcast in any other way. This was beautifully summed up. Thank you so much, Dr. Roopali Deshpande, for being here today. I think the viewers would definitely find themselves becoming more richer with the acquisition of the knowledge and the wisdom that you brought to this discussion. And thank you once again for enlightening us with your experiences over the years. I think it's always great to learn from someone who has seen life from close quarters. So really appreciate your time here today. And we would love to have you back again on the show sometime in the future whenever you have time. And till that time, please do take care of yourselves. And thank you once again for being here today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramnath. Thank you, all the viewers. Thank you so much.
Hello, friends. If you loved listening to this podcast, I would like to believe that you have found some value by listening to the views of our guest here. Please do feel free to share your feedback, your thoughts on what you liked, and of course, what we can improve moving further. And if you definitely would like to share it with some of your friends and colleagues at work, or maybe your family members, feel free to do that. And don't forget to subscribe the channel in case you're finding any value from the conversations that you are listening to. Thank you so much, and let's keep in touch.